Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me for the Better Business Bureau, serving Wisconsin. Third time's a charm. You just don't know that. It's Tiffany Schultz, Better Business Bureau. Tiffany, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming back. I don't know why you keep coming back, but we appreciate it.
I like to get the information out there to consumers.
She's here to help you. And today we're going to be talking, each month this year, we've been focusing on some consumer protection stuff, but also on your business side of things, because Better Business Bureau, business is in the name. So today we're going to talk about how to effectively manage conflict resolution between employees. Oh boy, we're really going down this path, huh?
We're really going down this path.
This is interesting because there's a lot of things that can happen in a business, and we need employees. We need people to work. We need people to be there. And there's a lot of personalities when you come together, right? So conflicts can happen.
If you're a business owner, eventually you're going to come across conflict between employees. And unfortunately, you're going to have to put on your parenting hat sometimes in the workplace. And
Parenting hat, ooh.
And help resolve a conflict between two employees. And, the goal of conflict resolution is to sort out the problem and how do you cooperate and move forward. But in order to get to that point, there's some steps that you need to take.
Yeesh. Well, it says first one here, recognize the problem, then act.
So the first thing that you want to do is talk to each employee. Make sure that you find out where each one is coming from. And perhaps the problem today wasn't how the problem originated. What's the origin of that problem? Does it go back several months because of something minor and it wasn't addressed, so the stress just built up, causing the big conflict that it is today? And we think about this in our personal lives too, and perhaps with our spouses or our kids. It's not what happened today. It was the stress that built up from a small problem and just exploded at that point.
Yeah, and you hear a lot about communication issues, right? Like it started with poor communication, or it was a training thing, or it was a lack of opportunity, or somebody heard of something from so-and-so. Even all these things can come up, but you can find ways of dealing with these issues, as mentioned here after coming through. But let's pick an area to start to help break this down a little bit and bring tranquility to the table.
People want to be heard, so it's important to talk with each side, see where they're coming from. And as an owner or a manager, it's your responsibility to listen. Watch for that body language. What is this person telling you? Really listen and be involved in their viewpoint. Talk with the other person too. Same thing. Identify the origin, listen, pay attention, and eventually bring those two parties together. What happened? How can we compromise? And how can we get along moving forward?
What if they're like, I don't want to bring somebody together. So-and-so hate each other so bad. And you're like, but you got to get together. If you don't come together, how are you ever going to get through it?
We're a big team in the workplace, and we all play an important part, and we need to find common ground. How can we work together, and how can we agree to disagree and resolve our differences in the workplace in order to meet that common goal?
I like this comment, to look beyond the conflict and avoid escalating tensions. That's a pretty good solution.
A lot of times conflict resolution ends in shouting to each other. And you want to avoid that conflict. You don't want to get to that point. You want to nip these in the butt even before they get to that point. So let's find that common ground before we get to the shouting match and, where we don't like each other at all, that we can't find a reason to work together. We need to find a reason to work together and cooperate in the workplace.
That sounded like the parent hat coming on there for a second, Tiffany. Ay, ay, ay.
I do have a few kids at home.
Conflict resolution professional here, helping you out. How, again, bringing the parties together, you don't have to be afraid about bringing that together, bringing those viewpoints together. It might be the first time that they're like, oh, I didn't know that's what you thought.
And they may not know that there was a problem with each other or how it was affecting the workplace, but it's important to sit down and eventually bring them together. But it's important also to find out their point of view and be an attentive listener. Listen for that body language. And, if there isn't a solution to this, unfortunately, you may have to part ways.
Yeah. And I think that's part of working it out, right? Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to listen and work together as a group. Seems easier than, or seems like it should be that way, but doesn't always work that way.
Offer solutions.
Yeah.
How can we make this work?
All right. Well, if you want to find out more ways to help your business grow or deal with conflict resolution and beyond, where can they find more information?
Head on over to bbb.org.
You guys do have a pretty robust, I was looking at it, curiosity one day on the business side of things, and there is a lot of helpful tools and tips for businesses on a whole bunch of different topics, which is pretty neat.
We have a great library of topics out there, anything that you can think of. The BBB is the Better Business Bureau, and the seal is a sign of a better business.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. So I'm telling you, there's your testimonial that it gives good information there. So, and you provide us with great information each and every month, Tiffany. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's good conflict resolution right here. There was no conflict.